Alright, so what is a Node.js? Node.js is an open source JavaScript runtime environment that runs on the V8 JavaScript engine provided by the Chromium project. For many years, JavaScript was strictly a front-end language that was used to manipulate the document object model. However, with Node.js, JavaScript became a server-side language, which means it can handle API requests and build server-side applications. It uses non-blocking event-driven model. So what does that mean? I know this is a bit confusing, but this is one of the main reasons for Node.js's existence. So let's look at why Node.js exists. Okay, so if you have experience with backend technologies, you'll quickly understand why non-blocking I/O is a big deal. I'm going to give an example of PHP-based application for backend. When a frontend makes request to PHP-based application, each connection or request starts a new process that has to be processed, which means that the physical resource such as CPU, the CPU power, will have to process each one of these requests one at a time. However, when you have too many requests, it can put pressure on the limited compute and the memory resources, which actually maxes out the memory load. This may result in slow performance or system crash. However, with Node.js application, it runs in a single process without creating a thread for every request. Node.js runtime environment provides a set of asynchronous I/O primitives in its standard library that prevents the JavaScript code from blocking. When Node.js needs to perform an I/O operation, like let's say reading from a network or accessing a database or a file system, instead of blocking the thread and wasting the CPU cycles, Node.js will actually resume the operation when the response comes back. This allows Node.js to handle thousands of concurrent connections with a single server without introducing the burden of managing concurrency, which could be a significant source of bugs. So if we were to sum it up, the most significant difference between Node.js and PHP is that most functions in PHP block until the completion. That means the command only executes after the previous command finishes. While in Node.js, the functions are non-blocking. That means the commands execute concurrently or even in parallel and use the callback functions that we learned in the previous slides, to just signal the completion or failure of the previous commands. All right, moving on. So NPM, what is NPM? NPM stands for Node Package Manager. It is the standard package manager for Node.js. NPM manages downloads for dependencies of our projects. It also makes it easier for us as JavaScript developers to share and reuse the code. When you install Node.js, you also install npm command line utility for installing and managing the npm packages. We'll be using it quite extensively to handle our dependencies. So managing dependency with npm. Let's look at npm website real quick. So if you go to npmjs.com, here you can find the packages or modules which we can use to build our application. For example, if I were to write a code in Node.js for starting a server, I have two options. Either I can write the basic module, which Node.js provides, or I can use a module that has been written and maintained by other developers. I can even publish my own module on this site. So let's look up a package which we can use. Let's say we want to convert some data which we have in XML format into JSON format. So if you have worked with PHP applications before, or even front-end applications using JavaScript or jQuery, you already know what JSON is. You already know what XML is. So if you want to convert the XML data into JSON format, I can find a package here. So if I go over to the search bar and search for XML to JSON, it should show me a package. So here's the page for that package with all the documentation and how you can install and how you can use it. It also provides further documentation, as well as it gives you a link for the repository where the source code is stored. And here it gives you the weekly downloads for this package. Who else is using this package? Okay, I can install this as a dependency for my project. We'll be installing some of the packages from NPM in the next session. So Express is one of the most popular modules we'll be installing, which allows us to create RESTful Node.js applications easily. However, for this session, to keep things simple, we'll be working with packages which are already provided by Node.js, which were installed when you install Node.js. So these packages are part of the core installation. So let's turn over to the command line and take a look at npm. Okay, so you need to open up a command line terminal and simply type in npm. All right, so here we will see all possible commands which can be used. So here's a list of commands. We can also have help section available. So here's the two commands to look for further help. And here's a quick help command over here. And that's one of the flag attributes that we can use to understand more about the command. And let's actually look at npm itself. So let me type in npm help npm. All right, so here's the documentation that I get for npm. And if you read through this, we can understand how to use npm and how to install packages. Okay, it gives you the current version number, and it gives you a basic syntax of how the npm command or the npm utility works. Okay, npm can also be used for initializing the node application. The command we use is npm init. Init is for initialization. So let's look at the help documentation for this command. So let me close this out, and if you notice here, it says npm command -h. Okay, or we can use this following format as well. So npm help and the command name. So let me try using this. I'll say npm help init. All right, so here it shows us which parameters we can use with this command, and most importantly, it states here that we can create a package.json file. So package.json file is stored at the root directory of the project and holds all the information about the application. So for example, name, author, dependencies, development dependencies, and scripts. Okay, so let's quickly initialize a new project and see how package.json files are created. So let me close this out. Let me clear this, and let me actually create a demo here. So I'll say session 2. All right, so inside session 2, let me go ahead and create this package.json file. So how do you create it? You first initialize the npm project or the node project. So I'll be using npm init. Okay, so I'll just type in npm init. Okay, so if you read this, it states that this utility walks you through the creating of package.json file. It only covers the most common items and tries to guess the sensible defaults. So it's asking us for what is the package name. So let's say this is test package. Okay, it asks us what is the version number, so we can decide what this version number of this package is going to be. I'm just going to press enter to select this default version number. Okay, it asks us for the description of the package, what kind of description we'd like to provide. So I'll just say this is a test package. It asks us for the entry point. That's the main file that will hold the application. So when you start the application using npm utility, it is going to be first looking for this specific file. So it gives us a default file name. So it says index.js. Index.js, mind you, does not exist at the moment. It is giving us a suggestion. I'm just going to select it. I'm going to create a index.js file. Okay, this is the test command if we have any test runners installed. So it asks us what is the test command to test the application that we have written. I'm just going to press the return key. I don't have anything. It asks us for the Git repository URL. I'm not going to be storing this at a Git repository, so I'm just going to press an enter. This is keywords. So keywords are essential if we publish this package on npmjs.org, npmjs.com, and there it'll be easier for other people to find our packages. So it asks us for keywords. We don't have to put anything at the moment, so I'm just going to press enter. The author, so this is the author of the project. Sometimes the intellectual property of the code is of the companies or the specific coder. So in our case, let's say I'm the author of the package because I'm writing the code. It asks us for the license. So there are various licenses available. I'm just going to select the basic one, but you can do more research on the licensing of the code if you want to publish it. This is particularly important if you want to publish the code and allow other people to use it. All right, so it gives us a quick overview of the package.json file that will be created, and it asks us, is this okay? And the default is yes. So if I just press enter, it will say, it will save this. So I'll just press enter. All right, so it created a package.json file. So if I type in ls, it will show me that the package.json file was created. All right, so let's quickly open this up in Visual Studio Code. And select this. All right, so now when you create the package.json file, it will hold all the information for the dependency modules and packages as well. Okay, so when you use npm install to install dependencies for your project, like for example, we discussed before, so you want to have XML to JSON package as a dependency for our project, then we have either two options. Okay, either to install the dependency globally or locally. For globally, you will have to type in, so let me open up a terminal within this Visual Studio Code itself. So if we want to install the package globally, all we have to do is we'll have to say npm install the package name, and I'll have to type in the flag of G. G stands for global. Okay, so it will create a global node_modules folder which will be accessible to all of the node applications in your system. Or you can create locally, which we'll see in a moment, where the folder which holds these packages, that is the node_modules folder, will be created in the application folder itself. So the application folder is session 2 right now, and the node modules folder will be created here. Okay, so let's install this package and see how that looks. So the package that we looked at npmjs.com before was XML to JSON. So I'll just say XML to JSON, and that's it. I'm not going to type in the flag of G. I don't want to install it globally. I want to see it locally. So I'm just going to install it, and if I use the flag of --save, it is going to add this within my package.json script as well. So I'm just going to press enter. So it installs the package. It will take some time here. Okay, so it gave me an error. It says the dependency tools are not available. Okay, I'm going to install some basic package here. So let's see if we have hello world available instead of this. All right, let me type in -hello world. All right, so I'm going to install this package. I don't think it will require any detailed dependencies like this XML to JSON requires, for which I don't have Xcode installed on my computer at the moment. So I'm just going to avoid this package for now, and I'm going to say npm install hello world and save. All right, it will take some time to install this package. I don't know how big this is. Okay, this was completed. So let me select here, and if you can see, it created a folder called node_modules, and it installed all the dependencies. Okay, so all of the packages that you install for your application will be added into this node_modules folder. Okay, and here it is, hello-world. All right, perfect. And if you look at the package.json file, since I typed in -- save, it added the hello world into the dependencies section of this file. So that means this is a dependency for this project. All right, moving on to the next slide. NPM scripts. So NPM scripts allow us to create small utilities to automate some of the tasks. For example, if you want to test an application, you can write a NPM script using popular testing libraries available on, again, NPM, npmjs.com, and test your application by simply typing npm test. You can also create custom scripts and use them. We'll write a simple start script in one of the projects that we'll be working on in this course. But now let's actually create a Node.js application within this directory where we have created this package.json file. So let me actually create a folder, and since we have said that the main file will be index.js, I'm just going to create this file. And within, let's do basic console.log here, and we'll say hello world. Hello world from, let's say, coding bootcamps. All right, let me save this, close this. All right, and now if we have to run this application, what we can do is we can just type in node and the file name. So the file name is index.js, so I'm just going to type in index.js. And it gives us a result. It says, hello world from coding bootcamps. Let me clear this out so you can see clearly. So I'll just say node index.js, type it. And I just logged out. So congratulations, this is the first Node.js application that we have created. Perfect. So let's quickly now go back to the slides, and we will move on to the fundamentals of Node.js programming.